So the plough was invented 5,000 years ago. If you look at the Egyptian tombs, there are paintings of ploughs being pulled by oxen 3,000 years ago. So ploughing's been happening for a long time. And obviously ploughing has got more sophisticated, but it's now ubiquitous over much of the landscape. Much of the landscape has been flattened. And we know that this flattening reduces the biodiversity. Species like the hollows and the ridges and the variation in microhabitat. And I think this is very important, particularly when you're restoring habitat. So this is an arable field, and very often when habitat restoration takes place, people just take the field as it is and then plant their seeds or whatever. What I jokingly suggest is you should hire a drunken bulldoze driver to create hollows and ridges and dikes and mounds and create a sort of diversity. So really sort of thinking about how you create diversity early on, I think is really important. So what else can you do? Well, butterfly conservation has suggested the idea of butterfly banks, and the idea is to add heterogeneity into the landscape to provide a variety of habitats for a range of species, and obviously particularly butterflies. So here we are at Southend-on-Sea, and there's a set of butterfly banks here, and if you the temperature on this side is 32.4 degrees. Over here, it's 21 degrees. So that's 11 degrees lower than on this side. And these are 1.5 meters high. They're a good size. So with this variation, it means that species can move during the day if it gets too hot. It means that if it's a dry year, they can, or a hot year, they can go to the cooler parts, and if it's a cool year, they can go to the warmer parts. And different species have different habitat requirements. So the hope is that this provides a diversity of habitats that can then be used by a wider range of species. So we don't yet know how successful this is. This is being monitored, but the results aren't fully out yet. But there was the one study that has been of these banks looked at how they fared during a heat wave. The air temperature was nearly 40 degrees C, and they showed that the butterflies congregated in the shaded area, and that was really critical for the species here. So it's likely that if temperatures increase, this diversity of habitats is likely to be increasingly important. So I think this is exactly how conservation should be done. There's an idea, the butterfly banks, but then these are then applied and tested in a rigorous way. So as well as these, there's actually replication. So there's another bank up here, there's another 2 banks over there, there's another site that has another 4 banks. And they've got a control, so they've got areas that are treated like this, but without the banks. So you can compare how the presence of the bank differs from sites in which that bank wasn't created, but the land management was just the same. So is this the best design? Well, almost certainly not. Almost certainly, as is always the case in conservation, you can do things better. But by carrying this out and testing, we can then think of what works, what doesn't work, and think of other modifications of this design to make it even more successful. What's called Kaizen conservation, continuous improving. So this creation of heterogeneity in the landscape seems to be a key thing to do. And testing actions and working out how they can be improved is central to high quality conservation.